What's up guys, Johnny Cooper here, and today we found an interesting discovery in Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time. Now, the game's been released for over 2 months now, and how this flew over everyone's radars during that time is unknown to me. So this could have been there since the beginning of the game, or Beanox updated during a recent patch that I'm unaware of. So in Rude's Awakening, the first level in Crash 4, when you hit the TV, it turns on and you get the logo for Crash 1, Crash 2, Crash 3, Crash 4, and when hitting it again, it reveals a secret logo for a second before the TV turns off. Luckily, we were able to get a clear image of the logo inside the game's files and an HD screenshot. So I know what you're thinking, that looks so much like the Firefox logo, doesn't it? Literally what I first thought of, but it also resembles a lot like the Google Chrome and Tide Pod logo. And it also seems that you can only find this when you 106% the game, so this definitely is a hint towards something new in the series, otherwise it will have been there if you didn't 106 the game. But seeing as it shows all the games chronologically, when you hit the TV, this logo appears right after Crash 4. So what could this mean? Well, knowing what I said before, this could very well be a hint towards Crash Bandicoot 5, and that symbol will be in the title's new logo. The other hint being, spoilers ahead for Crash 4, Uka Uka escapes the lava dimension and visits Cortex in the desert, where he does an evil laugh as Cortex gets up and worried, showing that Uka Uka will become the next big bad in the next installment once again. So that also basically seals the deal for a new game already planned, but seeing this logo gives us a bit of hint towards what the next game will be about. Now, the logo has an orange and blue swirl surrounding a Wumpa fruit. Remembering correctly, there really isn't a blue character that is a rival against Crash in the series, besides Entropy, but he was already the main antagonist of this game, or at least a central. And Ripperoo is a reoccurring villain and can't stand as its own as a main villain. So the next game could very well introduce a new blue colored villain that rivals against Crash, who represents the orange swirl, while the bad guy represents the blue one, with the rivalry being very similar to that of Crunch in Wrath of Cortex, where you fought him throughout the game, or the blue swirl is supposed to represent Crunch Bandicoot and they reintroduce him as a villain again. That of course with a new story and not a Wrath of Cortex remake if you might be confused. Also, I don't think he'll be all the boss battles, but he could have more than one if he is the blue swirl in the logo, which sounds like a good idea to me for a sequel, since we need him back in the series. Plus he was also hinted in Cortex's lab in the flashback levels. Some people are saying that the logo makes it seem like a Crash Enter the Wumperverse type thing, where it will be a similar plot to that of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which I thought was actually going to be the premise of Crash 4, but Crash 4 is just a time travel thing again. But maybe in the sequel they could go further in and explore different versions of Crash Bandicoot and the alternative Tana that we played in Crash 4. I don't know though, it seems very similar to Crash 4, and Crash 4 is already similar to Warp, so I'd rather have them do something new. Plus multiple Crash Bandicoots doesn't really seem like an interesting plot, at least not yet of course, but those are just theories on the plot for Crash 5. But Johnny, what if it's not Crash 5? Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be the new main Crash game or Crash 5 at all. This could very well be a hint towards the next Crash spin-off game. Now, the leaker, the Gamer Revolution, who leaked Crash Bandicoot 4 back in March along with other Call of Duty stuff, which all turned out to be true before he eventually got banned, also said this when leaking info on the next Activision game. The Crash PvP game is still in its early days and it's expected to release in 2021. I thought it could change. It will also be available on console, PC, and mobile. So this shows us that the spin-off game will have a mobile counterpart, whether it's very different due to the graphics compared to the console versions and PC, or it will be a watered down version of the game with low graphics. Now, something new that just got revealed supports this Crash PvP game, and this is an official video posted on Twitter by Crash Bandicoot. In the video, we see Crash sipping soda while Coco is playing Uncharted 4, which is a nice throwback to when Uncharted 4 had Nathan Drake and his wife Elena playing Crash Bandicoot 1 on the PS1, which you could actually play in the game, and both franchises being made by Naughty Dog of course. Now, the thing that got people talking about is in the background we see this logo called Wumpa Leagues. Now, this could very well be a reference to the 100% ending where we see Coco and Nina having an esports tournament, but it could also be a hint towards the future PvP game, and the logo we saw on the TV also matches with that idea. Orange versus blue, player versus player. Now, you may be saying, what could this player versus player game be? Well, it could be a lot of things. It could be a Crash Party game, a Crash Bash type game, but not a remake, Crash Paintball similar to Splatoon, Crash Smash Bros type game, Crash Sports game, Crash Battle Royale, seeing as, you know, that's one of the most played genres at the moment, Crash vs Sonic, imagine that, but that's a stretch, but imagine though. There are some people that want the PvP game to be just like Fall Guys with Crash's mechanics and its own spin to it, which I will totally be okay with actually, since I had a lot of fun with Fall Guys, and imagining it with Crash characters and its own mini games, that will be an absolute hit. Now, it could very well be CTR Nitro Fuel 2 actually, since that is also a PvP type game, but many rule it out since Nitrofield came out in 2019 and had updates till early 2020. But if we remember correctly, quite a few datamine characters like Wumpa Cheeks, Ripto, and the Sorceress were removed along with the voice actors being unlisted from the credits. So my theory is that Activision told them to cut the future Grand Prix that they were going to do and save them for CTR Nitrofield 2. And so the Grand Prix ended early and the characters that were going to be in the game were saved for the sequel. An idea I'm not against, and I wish they actually go for this path. But having a Crash party game does add more variety to the Crash library to show that they can do more than just platforming and racing. But I really love Nitrofield since I had so much fun with my friends and the amount of characters we can select in the game. It might be too early for a Nitrofield 2 though, but if it's made by Beanox with a new story mode and new characters, I'm all for it. And plus Activision releases Call of Duty yearly, so I won't be surprised if they do the same with Crash Bandicoot. Plus something that reinforces the idea of Nitrofield 2 is the traffic lights in the video. It could just be there to show, you know, that the Crash series has a racing game, but we can't be too sure since, you know, we always see Crash Bandicoot doing these small hints that always lead towards, you know, announcements. But if it's not Nitrofield 2, then I wish all those characters from the Nitrofield roster to return in whatever the PvP Crash game will be. If I had to pick a non-racing PvP game, it will have to be the Crash Party game. Now, as I was making this video, a new leak just dropped. However, this comes from 4chan, so we're gonna take this with a grain of salt. According to the leak that just came out, this is the logo for the new leaked Crash Bandicoot game, with the title being Crash Legends. And the logo includes the orange and blue swirl surrounding the Wumpa fruit that we talked about, with leaves and extra Wumpa fruit surrounding it. This logo looks legit. It's even compressed like this other image that was leaked before Crash 4. Now, if this leak is true, then it shows us that it's most likely not CTR Nitrofield 2 and perhaps something like the other PvP games that I listed. Or in fact, it could be a platform Crash game but with the gameplay and style being different than that of Crash 4 and Insane Trilogy, with maybe the art style going the route of Rayman Legends. I mean, heck, they even share the same title name, with perhaps the characters even looking like these concept arts in 2D like Rayman. Or maybe they'll try to do something like Sonic Heroes where you play as 3 characters in 4 different teams, like for example Team Crash, Team Cortex, Team Oxide, Team Pasadena, and etc, with the gameplay still being a platformer including a story and everything. But then again, we gotta remember that the leaker said it was a PvP, so we'll try to stick to that for now. And the logo might be a good fake leak, so there's that, but if it's not, then we already know the name of the new Crash game. Now, the game is supposedly being released in 2021, and it's only a matter of time before we get a trailer for the game. So when could we expect a reveal? Well, Crash always has something to reveal during the Game Awards, like how they did with the insane gameplay and Nitrofield's reveal, and also, you know, when they won best sports or whatever for Nitrofield. Plus the Crash mascot is a reoccurring thing in whatever Geoff Keighley does, which is the host of the Game Awards, which he was also there when Crash 4 was revealed. And Geoff Keighley will return in 2020's Game Awards, so we could very well see the Crash spin-off game be revealed this December in the Game Awards. Or Crash 5, thought I think that one is way too early compared to Nitrofield 2. But if it's not the awards, then early 2021 or maybe mid 2021 for a December 2021 release of the PvP Crash game. What do you guys think the spin-off Crash PvP game will be? Do you think it's that of Crash 5? When do you think it will be announced? Let me know down in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.